Alright, engineers, this is Mr. Hernandez, and in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys a walkthrough on this week's spreadsheets and charts assignment. So for this assignment, you guys have a spreadsheet that's already partially set up. We've already got a table formatted here, and we have some spaces for us to fill in our charts here. So what we need to do is figure out what information is going to go in here, format everything properly, and then set up our charts. So this table here is showing the results of a poll on what everybody's favorite animals are, and we've got a description of our results right here. So in this situation, we have 3 students that said horses were their favorite animal, 1 said turtles were their favorite animal, 8 of them chose cats, and 14 chose dogs. So we need to organize this information into our table. So we can see that we've got a row for animals and a row for numbers. So if we break this down, we can see that there's several sections here. So our first animal in this list is horses. So we can take that information and we can make that the first animal. And then we need to figure out how many people chose horse as their favorite animal. And in this case, that's 3. So 3 for horses. And we can see how the rows going across correspond to each other. So this number belongs to this label. And we're going to go down the whole thing just like that. So our next animal is turtles. Make sure you spell this correctly. And it's only 1 for turtles. So we can move over to the next cell and put in the value there. Next animal is cats, and for cats we have 8. And the last animal is dogs, and for dogs you have 14. Now as you're going through this, pretty much all of the formatting should be taken care of for you, but want to make sure that everything is centered, everything looks nice. So before we move on, click and drag across all of these cells, all the way from cell A1 down to cell B6, and highlight all of them. Then go up here and select center for the alignment. That way it looks nice and orderly here. Alright, so that's our table filled in. And now we're going to take this table and we're going to turn it into a chart. And you can see we're actually asking for 2 charts, a pie chart and a bar graph of this information. So this is how you're going to do it. So once again, we're going to make sure that we highlight all of this. We can start at the very top at cell A1, which has the label for the chart. Click and drag down and make sure the whole table is highlighted. Once it's highlighted, go up here to the toolbar where it says Insert, click on Insert and then select Chart. It's going to pop up this menu over here, and this might default to pie chart, and if it does, that's great. What we want to see here is something like this. It's a pie where dogs are the biggest slice, cats are the next biggest slice, and then the other 2 are kind of sharing this last little wedge. Now the colors might be different on yours, and that's totally fine. So this is pretty nice so far. We want to shrink this down so that it fits into this space here. So I'm going to line up this chart right here. I'm going to use these blue handles to shrink it down until it just covers all of the blue. Now we're not done yet because we want to make sure that our chart's labeled. See, by default, this just labeled it number, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So let's go in and double click on this, and let's change this from number to favorite animals, which is the title of our chart. And that's that for the pie chart. So now we're going to repeat that process, but for the bar graph. So we're going to highlight the whole table once again, all the way from B6 up to A1, select Insert, select Chart, and right here under Chart Type, we're going to change it from pie chart to bar graph. Now you can do either the bar chart right here, which is horizontal, or the column chart, which is how Google Sheets splits those up. These are both technically bar graphs though. I'm going to go with the column chart because I think it looks a little bit nicer. And you should see how this contrasts with the pie chart. This one has these bars that are standing up. Dog should be the tallest bar, cat should be the next biggest, followed by horses, and then turtles. Again, they might not be blue for you, they might be a different color, and that's totally fine. Now, just like with the pie chart, we're going to bring this down into its space. This is the pink one here. I'm going to use the handles to shrink it down until it just barely fills them in. Perfect right there. And once again, I'm going to change the number or the label here, because number versus animal sounds like a bad sci-fi movie, and what our actual title should be is favorite animals. Now, if you click on one of these charts, you can get this pop-up over here, and there's actually a lot of options to customize these. You can change the styles, you can change the colors, you can change a lot of things here. I will warn you, be careful not to change things too much until they're like unrecognizable. Make sure you don't delete anything that should be there. But if you can change the colors, I'd say that's okay. If you have a favorite color, you can change it to that color. Be a little bit creative here. Just don't go crazy, because then it kind of defeats the purpose and it becomes harder to read. All right, engineers. So that's just a quick rundown of how to use spreadsheets and build your own charts. Hope you guys enjoyed this lesson this week. We're going to be doing a little bit more of this next week, and that's going to close out our spreadsheets and charts lesson.